Gang of Four are amongst the most radical and important groups of the last 30 years. They released one of the greatest debut albums of all time, Entertainment, in 1979. This was followed by Solid Gold and Songs of the Free, establishing them as the pre-eminent post-punk band. Before anyone else had thought of it, they worked loud, aggressive, but minimalist guitar performances into totally original funk rhythms. It was a completely new language. Their contemporaries were shocked, but quickly got the idea. Both R.E.M. and U2 learned much from them. Then the Chili Peppers built an entire career out of the Gang of Four sound. As the 20th century gave way to the 21st, almost everyone who considered themselves hip used Gang of Four as the template. Block Party, Franz Ferdinand, the Futureheads, the Rapture, the list is endless. But what really makes Gang of Four stand out are the incendiary live performances. In a live context, their uncompromising message is clearer and possibly even more powerful than on record. Now, they are back with a new record, Content. Here are Andy and John talking about it.
Who Am I is a song that we wrote that was about how you feel about yourself when, to a certain extent, you feel you're a construct of all of these different forces that are around, that endlessly communicating different messages which you sort of swallow up into yourself, and you end up defining yourself in a particular way which makes you unsure about which bit of you is the real thing.
Well, I was looking at the sleeve of the second album, which is that woodcut of Charles I being beheaded, and it says, underneath it says, I hope they keep down the price of gas. I was thinking it was a sort of rich area, so I started thinking about perhaps we could do a song which kind of use some of the language of the 17th century and use the idea of the way people used to sort of torture and execute people because they had the wrong religious ideas. So, to make it funnier, I was going to be the executioner, John was going to be the executed, and we were going to have a conversation in the song. You're never able to rest. You can't get thoughts off your chest. I think you lost the romance.
We're living in very hard times where the criminal bankers and financiers who've been gambling with our money have also been gambling with our money with our compliance, because people have also been on a reckless borrowing and spending spree, assuming that we'd all be on this long conveyor belt towards a state of moneyed and consumer goods driven happiness.
We knew we wanted it to be simple. It had to be simple. We didn't want to have layers of stuff. We didn't want anything embellishing it. We kind of wanted stuff so you could hear the individual character of us vocally, and you could hear the fingers on the strings. You could hear the reality of it. So we didn't want anything kind of too fussy or too complicated, and it also had to be exciting. And I think again, we didn't really talk about this, but at the back of our minds, everything we did, there was a kind of like, the litmus test was, how would it be live? Everything we did, it was as if we were doing it for live.
Then you start thinking about pictures, and one of the things that Andy and I have been playing with, particularly in the artwork for the new album, is how a description of a picture, the words around a picture, change what the picture means. And we did this in Entertainment, putting the cowboy smiles and the Indian smiles too, he thinks he's fooled. Simply by putting that little narrative next to the picture, stops it from being a picture of about two people who have made friends despite the divide of being on warring tribes, to something else.
One's got the music, one you open up, it's got the CD in it, another one's got the words, the lyrics of the record on it. Another one, you open it up and you see the little circle with some blood in a plastic thing. There's another one where you open it up and there's a kind of like a map folds out and it's got 20 pictures, and they're 20 pictures which are our choice of illustrating the last 40 years of world history. They're sort of a mixture of drawings and sort of montage kind of things. They're quite an eccentric selection of the last 40 years of history. Another one, you open it up and it's got smells in it and words. You can put different words with different smells. They're kind of relating to human activity. So the words are things like commerce, sex, labour, warfare. And then there's another one, you open it up and it's got pictures of our emotions, which have been rotoscoped, which is a kind of computer process which gives a bit of distance between the viewer and the emotion.